So today I'll be talking about dealing with bullies and control freaks, which is a very difficult topic these days that a lot of people have been struggling, especially if you're dealing with controlling relationships. So the first thing I would say is definitely learn to respect yourself, know who you are, what you like, and what is acceptable. Set boundaries. So if you are one of those people that are being bullied, it's good to stand up for yourself and know that it's not your fault, because usually these bullies are bullying you because of a problem within them, not because of a problem within you. You know, anyone that bullies someone else turns out to be quite pathetic, to be honest. I'll be very honest with you. And also, there's also sometimes some underlying issues as well in the background, which is why people behave like that, because you never really know what's going on in someone's circumstances. It's never nice to target people for something different. That's one thing. Learn to respect yourself. Don't take bullshit off anyone, to be honest. That's the way I see it. Like, stand up for yourself, always learn to say no. You know, if you're one of those people pleasers that has a difficult time saying no, then this is one of the reasons why people think it's easy to control you and manipulate you. Because when someone thinks that it's okay for them to shout at you to get what they want, and then you give them what they want, that's when they have power over you. So always like learn to say no in certain some circumstances. Your mental health is very important to you. Don't feel obliged to do something just to please people, because if you do that, then you're going to end up having big problems. Look at yourself, love yourself, care about yourself, and see what makes you happy as well. Now that doesn't give you a right to be an arsehole to people, of course. But what I'm saying is that, say for instance you don't feel in the mood to do something right, or you don't want to do something, stand up and say sorry, but listen, that's not acceptable, I don't agree with that. you know and see people that are controlling, they won't like that, to be honest. They'll sit down and be like, no, no, they might shout at you, they might this. But one of the worst things you can do is, at that point, is to back down. To see when you back down and you've given them power over you, don't let them have that power over you, you know? Because if you show that they have no power over you, then what happens is that eventually they'll learn, wait a minute, this isn't working, I need to change my stance. Because a lot of this stuff comes from manipulation tactics and having power and taking advantage of vulnerability. The minute you're able to set boundaries and say, hold on a minute, I don't find this acceptable, then you'll find that stuff will get much better for you. Say for instance, I'll give you some of my own personal examples. I used to have a lot of people take advantage of me and tell me what to do, until one day I just decided, you know what, I'm not standing up for this, you know what I mean? So family members, some of my friends would try and control me. They'd tell me what I could do, what I couldn't do, and I felt trapped, to be honest. So one day I stood up and I went, you know what? No, I've had enough of this rubbish. I'm not taking this anymore. So I turned around and I said no. And see, when you say no to those people and they don't respect your wishes and they start shouting at you and screaming at you and start abusing you and taking advantage, that's when you know these people are no good for you, to be honest. Because see, if someone truly does respect you, then they'll respect your wishes. If there's What I like to say, if there's control, then there's no love. Do you know what I mean? Because if you want people to beat to your tune and you're not unable to respect other people's differences, then how do you think that's acceptable? You know what I mean? So this is one thing that people should learn, and as to deal with your mental health, is that you need to look at stuff and don't feel obliged to do something. Like, if you don't want to do something, then don't do it. Just say, listen, I don't feel comfortable, and see if people aren't willing to accept that and walk away. Turn around and say, no, you know what, I'm not having that, to be honest. Obviously there's some relationships that's difficult, like with your parents and stuff like that. Or like family, it's difficult to like walk away in that sense. But in that case, I would recommend set boundaries, and always make it clear. Like, for example, what makes people very naive and what makes people take advantage of easily and controlled is, see when you're always available for someone and someone messages you and says, and you just message back straight away as if you're waiting. This shows that you've got no respect for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, try and give a bit of a gap, try and keep yourself busy, etc. And what I will say is never drop your plans for anyone, to be honest. Especially people that are very controlling, because see, controlling people, they like everything to be done on their terms. And see, when you don't do it on their terms, they'll sit there and just like abuse the shit out of you, potentially start shouting, screaming, try and manipulate you. And other tactics is to try and make you feel bad and say, "Oh, this is your fault. This is how you've made me feel this way." No, you've not made them feel anyway that way. To be honest. They've made themselves feel that way because, like I said before, if there's control, there's no love. relationships and friendships and all these things are all about mutual respect. And if you can't respect someone, then how can you love someone? Do you know what I mean? So definitely stand up for yourself. Show that they have no power over you. If what you'll notice with the controlling person is once they start saying stuff, right, they might start getting abusive. They might start getting really, really frustrated, personal shit, have a go at you. Well, that's when the true colours are revealed. Because if they start, if when you say no and they don't listen to you, then you realise that, hold on a minute, this person doesn't actually respect me. What am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? So learn to set boundaries and keep your distance from that stuff. You don't. Nobody deserves that treatment. Nobody deserves to be spoken to like a piece of rubbish. Nobody deserves to be bullied in that sense, and nobody deserves to be controlled. Control is not good. And I'm not saying here, by the way, get angry and start beating the shit out of people in front of you. I'm saying respectfully, always remain calm. So this is something else as well that I'd like to say. Remaining calm is key to all of this, because see, when you get angry and you start shouting and screaming, the manipulation starts happening and they start using that against you, saying, "Oh, look at you, you have no control of your emotions." Don't even react, man. Just stand calm and just be like, right, I'm going to ignore. So I said before in my previous video, human beings hate being ignored, right? And when you ignore someone, that makes them think. So definitely ignore them and stand up for your right and say, "Excuse me, in a polite way, I don't think that's acceptable. Could you not speak to me like that?" Right? And let me tell you something about bullies as well, right? Bullies like might blackmail you and say to you, "Oh, I'll do this, I'll do that." If they do it, just say to them, "Go ahead and do it." So see, once you get into the cycle of blackmail and you give in, that's when they're like, that's when they have power over you, and you need to break that cycle of power and say enough is enough. You know, you need to find the courage to stand up for yourself and say, "No, I deserve better treatment. I deserve to be treated well. I deserve not to be treated like rubbish. I deserve not to be spoken to like this." Have some respect for yourself. And you'll see that you'll start loving life, and make some time for yourself as well. Never give in to the control and never give in to the power. Also, very importantly, be your own person. I'll finish off with this. People should like you for who you are, not who they want you to be. And if they don't like you for who you are, then just walk away. It's better to be liked and respected for being real than to pretend and be loved by a lot of people, but it's all fake. This is a big problem we've got these days, where people are acting so like they're not acting like their true self, and it's causing issues because deep down they know they don't feel valued. But if you're going to be valued, be real. That's the main thing. Yeah. So I'll release a review video soon, hopefully, once I've got time. And I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm hoping that this has made a difference to someone out there who's listening. Thank you very much.